Um, Hi everyone, my name is Lena, and today I'm speaking to Sharon. Sharon lives in US, and she has just been telling me her story, her journey on becoming an entrepreneur, which is absolutely fascinating. And it's also really interesting because Sharon, like so many of us, she started, with from scratch really, and she grew her empire in the last couple of years, and she just got so much to share with us that I was hoping that her story can inspire and can motivate so many people who hopefully will be listening to this interview. Hi Sharon. Thanks
Hi.
so much for getting up so early. It's like just after 8 a.m. I really, really appreciate it. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Um, and yes, you were telling me about your business, how you and your husband were building it. And just to go back, when I know I paused you there because I really wanted for people to understand what it took to build up the business. And you were telling me you're working how long? 14-hour days?
14 hours a day, every day.
How did you sustain this? How, like, what drove you? Like, what gave you that get out of bed and do it?
Oh my God, it was the crisis actually. Like I told you that we were losing money and everything is on the line. So if we cannot turn this business around, we're going to lose, we're not everything. We still have the building. So what we're going to do is we're going to liquidate and then we're going to move to another state. I mean, sell the building and pay off the loan and then move to another state. So we still have some money because the building was like 5 million worth. So we still have some wiggle room, after tax and all that. So that would be like a fresh start for us if we cannot turn the business around. And so that's why we worked so hard. I was like, okay, what can I do? You know, I didn't have any consumer goods. I was doing the customer service and I was, when I came here, I was so painfully shy. Like, oh my God, the phone rang. What am I going to do? All those things. But I didn't have any entrepreneurial skills or any of those. And, but because of the crisis, and I felt like uh it was the most scariest time of my life. Like, oh my God, we can lose everything. And the thought of failing is scary for me. And so that's how we did it. And my husband told me that really stood out at that time was that if we fail, at least we know we tried our best. So that's every day, like one day at a time. At that time, one day at a time. And it was so quiet, like the place was almost dead, and we were like, my husband's, every time we wake up, we live in the building, right? And so we don't have any commute or anything. So
So you
every
lived in
day,
the building, you mean you lived in that factory that you were building up?
yeah,
Okay.
right. And Jim owned the building too. And so it's a 17,000 square foot, and there's like a lot of offices, and then there's the warehouse. And so one of the office, his big office, we turned that into a bedroom. So we close all the window, we close the door, and it has, a bathroom in there. So we lived there for 4 years, and every day we wake up 7 in the morning and started doing all the social media and creating, building the rebranding, and Jim creating new products, and we work 14 hours a day. And I remembered we have to, like, at night the only way to get out was like to get it's a nice area in Irvine actually, and there's one on the corner is a hotel. So it's not like really really bad, and Irvine is a very nice city. And so like we would go around the quarter. That's how we get out. Like we go dinner and all that. And we have a puppy at that at that time as well. So he grew up in the building, literally, like, you know, go out in the parking lot. That's where he he plays. So anyway, we work 14 hours a day, and I started building up our reputation or our brand on social media, especially Instagram, and that's how I grow our influencer. At that time, the influencer was like not even a thing, so it just
So
grew
how
and
long
grew.
ago
And
was this? Like, what are we talking? 2015, 2016?
yeah, we sold our building, I mean our house, 2015, and we started living there. And and then like in 3 years span, we turned the business around, and we started making money. And
And
then
did you hire
once,
anyone this first 3 years, or was it just you and your husband?
oh yeah, we do. We have Shane, his son. He is in charge of the warehouse, and then we have the sales director. And so then we started hiring more in the warehouse, packing and all that. And then after 3 years, uh, I needed help. After 2 years, I needed help. So we have some girl help me in the front. And I'm so sorry. And I remember that I would stay in the warehouse packing by myself for like 3 hours. So I do the sales, I do the like literally like those little things like answer the phone, process
But did you ever have
orders.
the time when you just had no orders? So I mean, you're saying you were packing, which I guess is a good problem to have because it means there is demand. But did you ever
Mhm.
go through time where there's just nothing happening and you're like, where am I going to find my clients? Did you ever experience that?
Oh no, they're coming in. It's actually what happened in the industry is that it's hard to sell, right? It's hard to sell. Like our sales director has hard time selling, especially if the buyer doesn't know you. So once
Exactly.
they saw us online, then they started like, oh, who is this? Who are these people? And then at the same time, the when the brand started, getting a good reputation, then the buyer, like a lot of these little stores, distributors starting to contact us. And so that's how, like, you started it, we started the whole thing, and then everyone just, you know go and look for us or something.
Right. But I mean, when you first started, how did people find out about you? How did they know? Was it through
That's the
Instagram or
thing. They um they didn't find us, so it was like when we were already doing some of our toys, and we were at Bed Bath and all that, but the shrink after the the economy crashed in 2009. So we have to rebuild and rebrand, and that's where the social media marketing helped.
okay.
That like Chewy started seeing us, and we are also on Amazon. So those two channels were like really good channels for us. They are all online.
Okay. And then obviously you had some times when you felt like doubt and fear, right? Did you
Oh
remember
yeah.
that time? How did you deal with it? Because I mean, being a business owner, there's just so much you've got to consider and do. And sometimes you literally feel stuck, like you just like no matter what I try, I'm getting nowhere. And that's when the fear and the doubt set in. So have you got like any tips? What did you do?
That was when I I stumbled upon meditation. That was really helpful, and it kind of like gets you out of the suffering and puts you
Yeah,
in the
exactly.
right
Yeah.
perspective of like, okay, it's not the end of the world. Okay, and I learned, I don't know if you're familiar with Mind Valley Vision.
Yes. Yeah, that's my first heard about vegan. Yeah.
And that's how I found out. I remembered watching movies about people that are suffering in their business and then come out on the other side. That really helped. I even forgot that movie, and that movie was like, oh my God, maybe there is hope out there,
I would love to know what that movie is. I'm sure
Yeah,
someone
it
will
was
be very
Joy or
helpful.
something. She
Oh,
was,
Joy, yes, with I know who she was selling mops, didn't she?
yeah, that one.
Yes, with
That was like,
the
that
blank
was that
name.
time
Yes,
that
I
we were
remember.
having problem. Yeah. And
Hmm.
anyway, Vision, I was also looking for something, and then I stumbled upon Mind Valley, and it was a picture of the Mind Valley before and after.
Yeah, oh yeah,
And
I love that story. Yeah.
right, and I was like, oh my God, there is hope. So anyway, I just went and follow Vision at that time, and I don't, to be honest, I didn't even know how it all happened, how it all unfolded. And that was the first time I witnessed how to build wealth, like wealth creation. So like the money was pouring in, and it was firing in all cylinders, so to
So it just
speak. Like,
happened like this, you think? Like it just literally just transformed. One day you woke up and there was all the orders and everything. Or what was there like something specific that you think happened? Like change
okay,
in
no,
mindset or maybe hiring somebody or what was that
it
pivotal
was
point?
mindset, and the goal was, our goal at that time was to sell the business, and and that we will get out of there. And so what happened in the industry is that everyone's swallowed by a bigger company, so it's hard for us to like compete. And we didn't have any marketing money, but we Jim is a visionary, and he's been around, he's had businesses before. And so at that time I didn't understand. He was saying that when he looked at the market share, there is one category that we can go in, and if we go push hard faster, then we will be on the number two, and then that would be the ticket. And so, okay, so that's the strategy, and we did that. And he pushed hard, makes so many products, and then I was the one doing the marketing. But it was slow at first. It was like our first new products were not really that great, but it was refined and refined, and all of a sudden it was just a snowball. Like people are seeing us, that we are all in. And then once they saw that, they were like, oh wow, these people keep coming up with new products. And so then we become more and more authoritative in that category. And and at the same time, we are also building our brand. So I think that was the key, the key of like keep pushing and pushing, me doing all the social media. And the social media wasn't really, I wasn't selling at all. It was more like selling the experience. And and people are connected with us emotionally. So that was what I did. Like the whole thing, they were able to connect with the brand as opposed to like the product. So then when we build that community of raving followers, every time we come out with new products, they were like, oh my God, I'm happy to help you. And it was just so amazing to me that, wow, I didn't know that you can build something like this at very like minimal amount, because the samples for us would cost us like $5, including the shipping. you know and if you send that to 100 people, the word of mouth, that's the king. And so and then we also decided to like make it so good that when they open it, they feel like they're so special. It's a gift. So I think that was the key, and we just keep doing that. And even if we already have good successes, we did not abandon our community. So I feel like, okay, this is my roots. This is how we got started. I am not gonna abandon them. And so we keep helping them, and at the same time they help us. And so that was two like innovation and marketing. Those
So
two.
you mentioned something interesting. So you were sending your products to people to try them. Is that what you were doing?
Mhm.
And how did you decide who to send them to? Was it just you influencers you've connected with, or just anyone randomly?
Okay, yeah. So when I started it, it was hard because they don't know us, right? And so we're like, who are you? you know? And so we I started building the trust. And hey, if you don't like it, no worries. And if you do, please, so we do all that. Like we contacted them, and what I did is that it's a dog, so it's a dog community. So I noticed that there is like categories, sub communities in the dog community. Like if you have a boxer, so you go and follow all the boxers, or golden retriever and all that. So what we did is we did it by breed. So then even if you only have 5 people that say yes, but then all of a sudden everyone's like, who are they? And hey, I want to work with you. And it was just free samples. So it just like word of mouth kind of thing. And then it became like, I don't know, I built our followers to 80,000 in like 4 years with no ads at all.
That was
Just samples
on Instagram.
On Instagram. And Instagram is like the bread and butter for us for at that time. And I think it's really good for consumer goods, I guess. I don't know, but it was really good for us.
Yeah. Oh, wow, that's really interesting. So if somebody is like on this journey going through what you were going through, what advice would you give them?
I would say one day at a time, like focus, like keep your eye on the ball, don't drop it, and just really, really focus. And one of the things that really helped me at that time, I was listening to a lot of people that were successful, like Tom Billio. I don't know if you know him, but he built this company to $1 billion company and sold it. And he one thing that stood out at that time was his saying that you have to train your mind, like to think, like reframe, like if you say, oh, this is so hard, I can't do this, to like, oh, this would be fun to do. And I'm the kind of person that doesn't quit, and I will do it, and it's just a lot of reframing, like noticing when your mind goes into the negative loop, and then come back and be aware of it, and come back and just like really deliberately change it, like
Reprogram your thoughts, right? Just
right.
yeah,
At that
not
time,
everything
yeah,
gets created twice, right? Once in our minds and next time in physical reality. And it's interesting because so often, like as soon as people say, "How are you?" your first instinct is to complain about something, and then we're surprised that nothing really works around us. Okay, all right, that's really
right. So yeah, that was really important to me, that it became, after a while, it became like a second nature. That's what he was saying, that if you do it over and over again, it became a second nature, and I never looked back since. And I just keep growing and growing and growing. And then after 5 years, when we sold the business, I was like, oh my God. It was like we were just hoping for 5 million, and it became like, I couldn't say it, but it's 8 figure. And I'm like, it was so magic.
that all paid
Crazy.
off, right? I mean, I think it's David Theroy. He says, if you keep on going in a direction or something confident in direction, you cross this invisible barrier. And literally, that's what happened to so many people. And I think a lot of people don't cross that invisible barriers because they probably just give up on the verge, just on that borderline. So
Right.
it's amazing to hear your story, how you were working 14 hours a day, living in a factory, packing, marketing, selling, walking the dog, everything.
Right. Yeah. And I was going to tell you that the other magic thing happens is that in 2019, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I keep putting off my medical myself, because we were like so focused on that thing. And so then, okay, it was just a simple, because I turned 42. So, okay, you need to go do a mammogram. And so when that happened was that when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and before that happened, we were already looking for a house, because I forgot to tell you that we were hiring more people, right? And so like 7 in the morning or 8 in the morning, employees are already outside.
I can't
And Jim,
imagine, right? We're like, I just want to
yeah,
sleep in bed.
I know. And so Jim has to wake up early so to get the cars out of the warehouse. So that was like Jim was like, okay, enough. And then we have four employees coming in the front now. And so they were probably wondering what's going on with that. What is that thing? The room that keeps closed. We didn't tell them. We have one guy at the warehouse. We told him, but the rest didn't know. So they probably suspect. We don't know, but the privacy was gone. And so we decided to like buy a house, and we already paid off the building actually, from the profit that we were getting. So that was like so amazing. And so then we started, we like, I didn't even know if we can afford a house, but by then, but like we did. And then I got, you know, the cancer, and that was a perfect timing because, the recovery would have been different. Like, where would I sleep during the recovery? And so that was really good. So yeah, we lived there for 4 years. And and
And your health
and
is okay now. You're healthy now. It's all in the past.
yeah, it wasn't, I'm so grateful that it wasn't bad. It was just a little tumor, cancerous, and I decided to do a double mastectomy and breast reconstruction, and hopefully I'm all done. But it's only been a year, and I'm taking tamoxifen, and because I'm hormone positive, and so that, like, I did not really wake up early. My sleep is like getting better now, but before it was just 6 hours, and now, I'm happy. I get 7 hours, and it's okay. I mean, I couldn't ask for more.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess working hours, 14 hours a day, and not really having a house and that, it just plays massive, it puts massive stress on your health. So I guess it was maybe your body's way of telling you, take care of me now, which is hopefully something you're doing more now, right? That you don't at least have the financial stress and worries. So that's,
Yeah, I am. I am. I didn't even understand self-love before that. I always, like I told you, I help my family. And so it took me a while to like go back and, take care of myself. Now, I used to run, like I did marathon and all that.
oh yeah,
I
you're
take care
passionate.
of myself.
Yeah,
Yeah, but not in a like in a healthier way of like prioritizing myself. But
exactly.
that helped.
Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant. Well, thank you so much for your time and sharing your story. I'm sure it will inspire others. It inspired me to go and just like, he actually gave me some ideas now as you were talking. I'm like, I'm going to act on this. I'm going to do this. That was brilliant. Thanks, Sharon.
You're welcome.
Thank you.